Now, I've landed on this beach it takes 60-odd years to reach, as this generation of mine is ordered onto life's front line, the targets of a fusillade that forces us to think of God. Reluctantly, we storm this beach, advancing to fill up the breach created by that fallen corps of elders who charged here before while we enjoyed our middle age. Removed from fire, we now engage. A withering barrage rakes this beach. Its bullets bear the names of each of those who set foot on these sands. Old General Calendar commands, advancing to a sure defeat without the option to retreat. We knew before we hit this beach, the enemy that we besiege has ammunition for us all, who has casualties must fall. Not one will manage to survive. Nobody leaves this beach alive. For those arriving on this beach, there is no prayer to pray or preach to beg us off in any tongue, since we've outlived dying young, and for surviving in exchange, now face the fire at point-blank range. The witness we bear on this beach has only one lesson to teach. Here, the carnage never stops, as every day another drops, some classmate, relative, or friend whose attack comes to abrupt end. So, on into the breach, my peers. Who knows how many weeks or years remain till you and I are hit, as we inch onward bit by bit. We only know our lives will bleach eternally out on this beach.
In Hebrews chapter 9, verse 27, as it is appointed unto men once to die, but after this, the judgment. Can y'all repeat after me? Death is the common denominator. Amen. Some of you may not need Jesus for a happy marriage. You may not need Jesus for good health. You may not need Jesus to get more prosperous. You may not need Jesus for all of these other things. But let me share this. Everyone in this room will die. You will have to face that beach. And the only thing that's broken about that poem is not all of you will be 60. Amen. There are some young people on that beach. Next slide, my brother. There is a preacher who speaks clearer than any other. He travels through the world and he speaks every language. He visits the poor, calls upon the rich, and preaches to people of every religion and to those of no religion. He is able to stir feelings which no other preacher could and bring tears to eyes that never weep. Every heart is moved when he is done speaking. He shatters life with his message. Most people hate him. Everyone fears him. His name, the preacher's name, is death. Every tombstone is his pulpit. Every newspaper prints his text. And someday, every one of you will be his sermon. Amen. I share that with you because we have to always realize as we share our faith, and we have to always realize as we live this life, there's a reason why God kept bringing it back to eternal life. Because he gives us so many other things. But the other things in reality, when we deal with people that may not need it, they may need it, but everyone eventually is going to have to give up this body. And we have to always kind of keep bringing people back to that reality. Because truth be told, when you run into people, you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what they're dealing with. You don't know their backstory. Amen? And as you don't know their backstory, you don't know, if you come to them with some kind of prosperity gospel, what if they're already prosperous? If you come to them promising them of all this other stuff, but you know what all of us also have a tendency to do? We have a tendency to push away the date of our death. We don't want to think about it. We don't want to think about our own mortality. even sick people try to get their mind off that subject. Because if they can get their mind off that subject, they can pretend to continue to live life as if there is no date of death. But I submit to you, anything that's not attached to reality is not good for you. The reality is you have to face death. The reality is, are you going to be ready and prepared when you do face death? Are you prepared to walk through that door? Are you prepared for that breach? For that beach? Are you spiritually prepared for it? Do you have faith in where you're going? Do you truly know who you believe in and how much do you believe in him? Or for some people, her. Because if you're not confident, the time to get confident is not when you're on that beach. You need your PhD in theology. You know what that is? That's past having doubts. You need to reach there and get there. Because I don't know about what this week holds for you. I don't know if God has destined you to be famous or rich. I don't know anything about this. But let me prophesy into every last one of you. You're going to die. You're going to die. Can you turn to your neighbor and say, neighbor, one day, you're going to die.
You're going to die.
And I believe, 2 Thessalonians 2:3 says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first. The church prophesies about a falling away, where people fall away from the gospel, and they fall away from the church. And one of the reasons why people fall away from the church is we are in denial about the inevitability of death. And we're even in denial about the realities of death. The soldier kills for us. The jailer flips the kill switch. The hospice care worker administers the morphine. The cop or the medic sees the people dying on the side of the road while you drive by. We are living longer and better lives. We live like death is a distant reality. Death is coming for us though. Will you be ready? Not only will you be ready theologically with what you believe, but will you be ready with how you've lived?